Welcome to Two Poor Artists, where we're poor at being salty, but mostly we're poor at making art. My name's Benj.
And I'm Isaac. And this week we are going to be drawing yet another suggestion from our friend the pastor. He doesn't know they're suggestions necessarily, but of course
I think he must know.
Like, because every once in a while there's a sermon title that we just can't draw without being disrespectful and mostly blasphemous.
Right. But then there's titles like this one.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's asking us to draw.
It went out of its way to give us a good title. Like, it's hard to come up with just like random prompts for things to draw.
Yep.
But if you're looking for one, sermon titles.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this so many times.
It's just
sermon titles were like the first clickbait. You know, we've mentioned that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive that I feel like if I was a pastor, I'd be spending half my time coming up with the sermon and the other half of the time coming up with the sermon title.
It's true, because that's what gets the crowds, which is what everyone knows sermons are all about.
Yeah. Wow. That's certainly a plant.
It's not a plant.
Bowl.
It's not
A pot.
It does look like it's supposed to be that, doesn't it?
Are you gonna tell our viewers what the title is today?
No, I thought you would.
Okay.
I'm deep in my drawing early today.
Yep. So today our sermon title is Speech Seasoned with Salt, which is interesting mostly because of today's society. See, if you would have asked anybody what it meant for like a speech or something to be salty, in almost all of human history up until now, it would have meant that there was added wit or charm.
Yeah, like it was really, really good.
Yeah, like it was like a well-seasoned like speech. You know, like they did a good job. Not today. No, salty now means almost the opposite. It's like a sore loser.
True.
I mean, I don't know what that means when you're like if you're giving like the losing speech of a team and you're real salty. That's kind of what you would expect if I said that was a salty speech.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, like it's like almost like false humility or false.
Yeah.
It's like when they come out and they're like, I concede the victory to this person, but they're going to do a terrible job, but they have to be like nice about it so that people don't.
Or they just straight out complain. Like I know in the video game world, when you call someone salty, and it's usually rightfully so, it's because like they just lost and they're like, you cheated, my internet went out and the wind blew my controller joystick the wrong way, you know, like.
Yep, that's true. Sore loser. Person's arm is going the wrong way.
And then the wrist went. What is this person doing?
It's hard to say. Stop. I can't laugh and do this. That's enough fingers.
I think it's too many fingers.
It's like an Italian talking.
He broke his hand?
It's intense.
So I'm looking at this. That's his left hand. Bent down. Up. No, he's definitely double jointed in every joint. And also his shoulder was dislocated.
Dang. So early in this speech. It's already so bad.
He's got lots to be salty about sitting in his plant.
It's not a plant. He's standing at a podium. He does have a turtleneck, though, so you can take that as
Are you sure he's not just like his head was severed?
We can argue what's wrong with this person.
And then stuffed in a potted plant.
I don't know how faces are supposed to look. Okay.
Like, you're allowed to draw an oval and then like add ears onto it because That's kind of how ears work.
How
anyways.
I wanted their head to look like. All right, just
I don't know if I can accept that. Is this like Bert giving a speech?
Oh gosh, it is like Bert. Yeah, it's like a puppet. So you can just assume that it's the arms
Okay,
are
all problems are solved.
What does Bert look like? I have to look him up now.
Bert is giving a speech. And I have no complaints anymore.
It is definitely his hair, isn't it?
And his turtleneck.
Bert has like a unibrow. If it's Bert, his hair has to be a little bit crazier.
A little bit crazier, yeah.
He has a big unibrow. You made me do this.
I think the way you drew it made you do it. Right now it looks like his head's upside down. It looks like it was ripped off and put down upside down.
Horrifying. But it does look like that, you're right.
Now it's better.
There's this movie coming out, this horror movie. I know you and I don't like horror movies at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're terrible. But there's this... See, now he doesn't look quite right at all. It doesn't quite look like Bert. Like, he doesn't have a pointy head. He just looks horrifying now.
Yeah, and it looks like you gave him teeth.
That's a tongue.
Yeah, I know what it is supposed to be. I mean, that didn't really help.
He doesn't really wear a turtleneck either.
He wears like...
This thing is so much creepier.
He wears like a turtleneck under his like vest. He wears like a white turtleneck with long sleeves. And then he wears like a long sleeve striped vest over top of that.
Man, this isn't real Bert then. This is just an imitating. It's like who Bert's based off of. Like someone saw this guy's like, yeah, we can make a puppet of that guy.
He's half puppet already.
Yeah, basically. So anyway, this guy's giving a speech.
Okay.
They have like a microphone in front of him or something. They have like a...
I mean, that would be common if you're giving a speech.
Like one of those like microphones, and it has like one of the skinny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've always thought it was funny when you like, you know, like when someone's giving a speech and they have like a ton of microphones because like all the different like news companies have their own microphone on the podium.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why don't they just use one microphone with a bunch of like output ports?
That would make a lot of sense.
But I guess that would require the news companies like working together.
We're boxing him in. He's very thin stage. We've got it all just focused in on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have another person who I suppose has to be Ernie now.
Yeah, might as well be.
It can't be real Ernie though. It just has to be a guy who like vaguely
like clearly Bert and Ernie were based off of these two.
How do you draw
people?
Ernie from the side? Like his head is like a football.
Yeah, he's definitely more distinct.
Like I don't think you ever see Ernie from the side.
Sure, I'm sure you must.
It can't be pretty. All right, I'm looking up Ernie just to get this. That's weird. Okay. Apologize in advance to all of the children and Sesame Street fans.
Yeah, remember, our show is technically marked not for kids.
And let me prove that to you in case you didn't believe.
And it's not because we do anything that would really be considered inappropriate, except our drawings.
Like children
don't
need to decide if their children are
children
allowed to...
don't need to see the things that we draw.
It's true. Like that. It looks quite terrifying if you're not prepared. If your children haven't been prepared.
Anytime you add hair to something,
It makes it better?
no, it makes it so much more disturbing.
That's not true. Is it?
Like, you have your saying, hair covers the multitude of, but it's not true. Especially when you make your hair so thin and flimsy. Is he like leaning over the box?
Yeah. Here's another interesting thing. Do you ever see Bert and Ernie with pants?
Yeah, they have like legs.
Mm.
They're like the full body puppets. But they're not like people dressed up like Big Bird or
Or Big Bird.
yes.
No, I think Muppets only do have 4 fingers now that I think about it.
Yep. You drew the perfect amount of fingers.
You can only see those ones from this.
Yep, sure. Whatever angle this is.
Yeah.
How is he up there?
Muppet magic. We'll figure out a way here in a second. Maybe that's what we've been drawing, like weird human Muppets the whole time. That's why they all have 4 fingers. Why they don't look quite human.
I think what we draw is worse than anybody would make a puppet.
You're probably right about that. I wasn't originally going to draw a ladder, but that seems complicated now that I think about it.
So it's just going to be like a stack of boxes.
Yeah, comical like.
Mm-hmm. Wow, smallest box on the bottom. It's not even touching the box above it.
Perfect. See, because when your best friend is giving a speech and the puppeteer doing his arm isn't quite on top of things, you got to season him with some salt.
Okay.
So he's like,
what's like... does that have any sort of practical purpose?
getting in his eyes.
Is that the practical purpose?
No. He's just thinking that. Like his eyes are getting all salty.
Yep.
It's quite rough.
Don't really want salty eyes while you're giving a speech.
No, it's the last. It's one of the last things you want. Yeah. I wish I hadn't drawn that arm so bad to start, but
Yep.
It's a puppet, so it's okay. I'll draw like one of those like puppet sticks. Like like someone's clearly doing a bad job puppeting today.
They're just like putting the stick up, and they don't have complete control on how the arm goes.
Yeah, that stick's breaking.
I see.
Yeah, we're good now. And he'll have like some strings ruining the Muppet magic for everybody here. Like the early days. Keep in mind, these aren't actually the Muppets. These are like the people they're based on.
Yeah.
Really, people are like, man, these guys are basically puppets, strings and sticks, and
it's just their fashion.
We should totally, exactly. It's just the fashion of these guys. So I think it's perfect. I even left this whole side over here for the title and everything.
Yeah.
This is called what? Speech. Seasoned.
With
salt?
Yep.
Just that's it. Width.
Yep. Man, this might be one of your fastest drawings ever. It's like about as long
I
as
haven't
my
written my name
drawings.
yet. See, like, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, we're recording this early this week.
Yep.
On Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
September 27th.
Right.
It's not my birthday yet.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But last week we said it was my last drawing of 29.
Yep, that's true. Because this episode comes out on Sunday when you will be 30.
I will be 30. So do I keep the illusion up
Mm-hmm.
that hasn't already been broken at all?
Right.
That I'm 30 already because you're watching it when I'm 30?
Mm-hmm.
Do I sign it as a 30-year-old? Or do I write it as 29 because I'm actually still technically, legally...
See, if
29.
if we were off camera, I would have just said, put 30 and we'll not break the illusion.
See, that's the thing. I almost
But the
was like,
illusion...
do I pause it here and like discuss this with you off camera?
Yeah, the illusion's been broken. So really, you can do whatever you want at this point.
Wow.
But if you write your age is 30, everybody will know you're a liar.
I have a perfect idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
29 and a half.
I don't know if half is appropriate because it's like you're like 2 days away.
Here's the thing, though. Like,
So like
I'm-
it's like 364 out or 363 out of 365.
it's not half in that I'm halfway to 30. It's half in that it's halfway between the lie I would have told and the truth.
Oh, I see.
It also, I think, makes this piece worth more in the future.
Oh, yes.
Because in case you don't follow our Facebook channel, we have a weekly auction now
Mhm.
for our napkin.
Yeah. But we don't sell
Art.
these drawings.
We don't sell these drawings.
These are
no.
digital art, and so thus
So,
they're just if you just
we
print
made
it
a big
off, it's
deal
the
on
same
the-
thing.
We got a bid this week on our Facebook drawing because someone was like, "Oh, this is Isaac's last drawing of 29,"
Mm-hmm.
and so
You say
technically,
someone.
someone bid on it. We don't need to explain who. A big fan of mine bid on it.
I don't think so.
Someone who knows me. That's all. But anyway, she bid on it specifically because it was my last art of 29. So
Mm-hmm.
we can let the art historians in the future
Right?
debate whether that was my last piece of 29 or this is my last piece of 29.
Yeah.
And both will be worth something special because of it.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Obviously.
That's
I mean, when we're famous and have a hotel.
yeah. When we have a hotel and there's like, or our museum and there's like a whole hall dedicated to
Mm-hmm.
the Hall of Ages, and
Right.
it shows us throughout the years, and there's like a special piece of that hall dedicated to these two drawings.
You know what we should have done, since this is like the third, like this is the end of our 20s. We should have shown them all of our drawings that we did
In our 20s,
in our 20s that we have in our notebook, like before we did our channel.
maybe we'll do that as an intro to our 30s next time. You know, like now that we're 30, you can expect it to be worse than these drawings we did in the 20s because
Right.
we're getting old.
Yeah.
Hands not as steady as they used to be.
Yep.
We'll find some way to show you our drawings.
Yeah.
They were better.
Mm-hmm.
Even my napkin drawings lately, I've been pleased with because I can use like a real pen.
Mm-hmm. Although it's hard to draw on a napkin because you have to be very careful not to rip the napkin.
It does take a steady hand and a steady
And a
heart.
mostly
and
it
a
takes a
stout-
very well inked pen.
Yeah, that's actually more what it takes. A well inked pen. I didn't draw a rubber ducky. That seems wrong for them.
Yep.
Maybe. Hang on. Maybe. Just maybe.
So see that would make sense to why he's throwing salt on Bert if he stole his rubber ducky to give this speech.
Oh, that seems harsh now.
Just saying, Bert doesn't have a rubber ducky. Ernie has a rubber ducky.
It's also under the assumption that I can draw
not creepy
I mean,
rubber ducky.
I think the answer's you can't. Why is it
What the heck
like?
does the
Why are
mouth
the
look like?
eyes like backwards?
There, that's not bad. It's not the worst.
It's like its head is like turned so far backwards though.
Looking up at its owner.
While you're holding it facing away.
Well, that's it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Come over here and show us what.
Yeah.
truly
I was
salty-
gonna like end. You know, I was
Oh.
gonna say like may your pens be well inked. But then I realized we're just halfway through the
We'll
video.
have to remember that for the end of your drawing,
Yeah.
so we can sign off. With...
I won't remember. You can try to remember.
I'll try to remember.
Okay. I'm going to get over there and draw.
Anyway, I was talking about a creepy movie trailer thing that I saw the other day about people smiling.
Yeah, I've seen that trailer.
But, okay, so it's a movie called Smile, which looks disturbing in and of itself. I never recommend horror movies. You shouldn't watch this. You shouldn't even watch the trailer.
You shouldn't even watch our videos. They're too close to horror.
True. Not made for kids, for sure. But with all that being said, a thing they've been doing for that movie is they've been sending the producers of the movie have been sending people to baseball games lately and telling them to go stand behind home plate and just stand there with a super creepy smile as like promotion for the movie.
Interesting.
So there's all these pictures of people at like professional baseball games just standing there like staring as they do the baseball game, like with a creepy smile. I thought that was at least semi clever.
Yeah.
Does this person only have hair?
No, I just didn't finish drawing
Oh,
there.
okay.
I was like, I should probably draw the body first because I don't know what the body's gonna look like.
What kind of a person is drawn body first style? This isn't you at all.
Well, see, it's also weird that I'm drawing someone front facing.
Yeah, this is all
Like, when
disturbing.
have
Wait,
I,
is she
like,
facing
ever
front
done
or is she facing to the right? She kind of looks like she's facing to the...
No, she's facing front. One of her eyes is just a little bit covered up with the hair.
What is this? This doesn't look like your drawing at all. This looks like something bad I would do. Oh, never mind. Never mind. She actually looks more normal than most of the people you draw. How'd you do that?
I think she looks less normal, actually.
Well, now that you give her like fangs, why did you have
She
fangs?
has teeth.
This is definitely not normal teeth.
No, they are normal teeth. You've just never seen someone's mouth before.
She's also wearing like a sweater.
Yeah,
What is that? Oh, that's the mic.
I
Like
didn't-
with a zipper. No,
I didn't know what clothes to give
You know,
her.
this is looking suspiciously like a worse version of my drawing so far.
I
Where's
don't
your
know about
podium
worse.
texture? I at least gave my podium stripes. Every podium has to have texture.
This will be the failure
Huh. This is the...
award.
Why is that a thing?
Ceremony.
This is a whole ceremony for the people. I mean, to be fair, that almost makes sense. Like all the people who didn't come up and give a speech, just come to the failure awards, and you can give your speech. That sounds like so much more enjoyable watching than the actual awards, which nobody watches anymore.
What's the symbol of the failure award? Like what animal represents
Oh gosh,
the failure? That's easy to draw.
what animal? When you look at it, you're like, man,
That thing failed.
that thing failed. Like a slug, or like a 3-armed starfish.
I think slug is a good choice. So it just has like a slug on here.
Do they like hand one of these out, like a participation award to everybody? They all get a slug.
Well, oh no, this is like it's not a participation award. Like you had to fail, you were the worst.
Oh, so this
Like
is
it's
like the Razzies.
this is like last place.
Like the Razzies, which is
Yeah.
a real award ceremony.
Right, but like that's like
This is worse than that.
like that's that's like specifically movies. This is like, oh, you got last place in this like sporting event, or Because the Razzies is like you can almost go for that award.
Mhm.
You know, like you can make a movie that's like, hey, can I make a movie that's entertaining but also like terrible?
Gotcha.
This
These
is
people were like trying.
I ran a race and I was last place, and
This is
now
like
I'm put at this
we
podium.
round up all the people from like the Olympics who came in last,
Right.
and we round up like the sports teams that came in last, and like, yeah, you're like, why were you even? How did you even like qualify?
Yeah. This is a B.
It's nice we have a place for them to go and give speeches.
Yes. This is specifically a video game. Speech.
Oh, okay. So they're like those people.
Yeah. So she
worst.
lost this video game, and she said the wind blew my joystick.
People actually say that?
I've never heard it.
Okay. You've said it like twice now. I started to believe it was
I
like
just thought it was funny.
a common
Because
saying.
it's like, you know, whenever you're playing like sports, like it's always a joke, like, oh, you missed the basketball, you know,
Yeah,
and it's like,
it was
oh,
the
the wind
wind.
blew it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then you play indoors and people still like say it like more as a joke. But this is like the ridiculous, you know,
like
side of that.
like the wind blew my joystick.
Inside.
Inside. The air conditioning was turned up too high.
There's no way I could possibly win.
The only explanation, that.
So then you have her dad over here. You know, this guy will be drawn nose first, as all people should be.
Back to normal, except for failures. They're drawn body first.
I mean, you could say this guy's a failure too.
Oh, great. Never mind.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
he's over here.
If you see somebody lose like a sporting event, you're like, man, their parents just failures.
Mm-hmm. Aren't they? Aren't they? I mean,
not always.
It can't be 100% the kid's fault.
Is he standing really close to the podium? Just like,
He's like you can imagine there's a curtain here. Like here, like I'll draw curtains. You know, like with a thing around it. But so he's like
so he's just like in the wings.
Yeah, so like you wouldn't be able to see him, but I'm not gonna draw, you know, because I want you to see him. But you can imagine that the audience can't see him.
He looks so disappointed, even though he was like invited to these awards.
Mm-hmm.
What's he got to be? What does he have to be shocked about at this point?
No, this award happens like immediately after.
They just usher all the losers into like a narrow like speech hall and quick, tell everybody why you're the worst.
Wow, he's weirdly shaped.
He's got a butt, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He looks. See, I was just telling Ben while we were switching off here that my drawings as of late, my people have been so bad that like very soon into the drawing, I determined they just can't be people anymore, and I transitioned them into like today, transitioned them into you know Sesame Street
Muppets,
characters,
yep.
like puppets. And then a few weeks ago, it was like, oh, that was supposed to be a woman. I guess she's an ogre now. Like, it almost seems intentional. If I wasn't just a poor artist, I do attempt to draw humans.
Yeah, you can't read that. It
looks like a candy bar wrapper that he's like offering her.
Yeah, that's not what it is.
He's like reading it. I guess Salt wasn't. I'm not gonna read the whole thing.
I can't read and write at the same time.
Most
He
people
says,
can't.
I guess salt wasn't the spice it meant. So, you know, like that old saying, sugar and spice and everything nice. That's what little girls are made of.
Oh, so he made her.
I'm going to give him teeth too.
He made her,
Yeah.
but he put in the wrong
Yeah.
spice.
Well, he was like, oh, sugar and spice and everything nice. I guess by spice it meant salt. And that made her salty. You know, with like modern day definition of salty, not like what it's meant all of history before that.
What a shame. I wonder what the spice in that is supposed to be.
Yep.
Like pumpkin spice. If you want a little generic
Mm-hmm.
white girl.
I was wondering what you were gonna say.
That's the normal thing. Like, like a basic white girl is
Mhm.
pumpkin spice.
Yeah, I meant most of the world refers to that by a different term that we don't usually say.
Well, I wouldn't say whatever it is you're thinking of that you've heard in your worldly travels.
Worldly travel,
But
existing in the world.
it's obviously not salt, or else they're just like salty
Mm-hmm.
about
Yep.
losing at the joystick competition.
Yeah, some sort of competition that uses a joystick.
Yep. I mean,
There aren't many of those.
to be fair, we like watching video game competitions.
Mm-hmm.
People make fun of us because Benj and I, we don't really care about sports, like
Mm-hmm.
traditional sports. Like, we played sports growing up,
Yep.
but we don't like.
I was pretty good at basketball.
Yeah, and I played football and still a bit, but like, we don't sit down and like want to watch. Like, it's football season now, and a bunch of people are like so excited about watching the game. I like can't do anything on Sunday because the football game's gonna be on. It's like, well, you could, because you could just not like sports that much.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But we enjoy the occasional video game sport. We used to love watching the Tetris competition,
Right.
the World Tetris competition, but after
Yeah.
our hero of Tetris
Mm-hmm.
lost to like a 14-year-old,
And
and then he died.
and then he died.
It was quite the scandal. We're not entirely sure he wasn't like poisoned so that other people could take over the Tetris
Mhm.
championship.
I'm
but-
surprised his wife hasn't tried to find out.
Yeah, like expose the corrupt Tetris world. But, my point is, video game sports are pretty great still. Except for when they lose and they're salty about it. Like whatever this girl's name is.
Yes.
I can think she's like one of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, I mean that's basically because that's how the Powerpuff Girls were created.
Yeah. Powerpuff. If you've never seen the show Powerpuff Girls from like the 90s, it's all about a scientist who's like trying to make daughters,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. And he mixes up sugar and spice and everything nice. And then he accidentally knocks in a bottle of Chemical X. Chemical X turns them into like superhero girls.
I don't know why he just had like this chemical X.
Vial of it just like nearby.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he makes them
I
into
was-
like superpowers. One of them is actually pretty salty. Maybe that's
Mhm.
maybe there was some
Yeah,
salt
yeah.
in the batch.
Maybe it's just like random spices, and that's just like
You get if you're
that's
making
that's what the different personalities are.
yeah, that does make sense.
Mhm.
Maybe like some of them get the sugar.
Yep.
Some of them get like when he made 3, I think one of them got the sugar, one of them got the spice, and one of them got everything nice.
Right. Although, what's the difference of sugar and everything nice, personality wise?
I don't even know. Whichever one's the sweetest, you get
Mhm.
the sugar. Everything nice is still close to that, but they're not quite the sweetest.
So you're saying like Bubbles got the sugar
Yeah.
and Blossom got the everything nice,
Yeah.
and Buttercup
got the salt.
salt.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why you should always
Works.
make your batches of girls and 3s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, they came out. It's not like he tried to make 3. I
I don't know what he was trying to do. It's like the
I know-
opening credits.
But the Rowdy Rough Boys, they were made in like a prison toilet, and they still came out
Yeah.
in 3. So I think it's just like they always
They
come out in
always come out
3.
in triplets.
One of them was the snails, and one of them was puppy dog tails. And
Yeah.
the other one was both. There's only 2 ingredients,
Was it
big
just
boys.
2?
Yeah, because it's snips of snails and puppy dog tails.
Boys are simpler.
2 ingredients, and they're both gross.
Yeah, it's
Cut
not
up snails. Just the tails of a puppy.
Yeah, I guess that's true. How weird. They're
Yep.
just all gross. It's just how it works, guys.
Yep. You just have to accept it.
In case you didn't know,
The third one was made out of the toilet water.
can you explain to your kids where babies come from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Just let
play
them
the-
know
Just play this part of our video.
that girls are good things, and boys are just the worst things you can think of. Made in a toilet.
Oh man, they are mixed in a toilet in that show, aren't they?
Yeah,
To be fair, they're
toilet.
also like villains. They're made
Yeah.
by like a villain, so maybe if you don't make them in a
Made
toilet, they're
by
not like as bad.
Mojo Jojo,
Easily the creepiest villain.
a monkey that had a chemical X poured on his head,
He's super.
so he has like a brain sticking
No,
out.
he's not the creepiest. The
No,
creepiest
him.
is him.
Yes, the like
like a-
Satan Santa
Like a
Claus.
cross-dressing Satan lobster
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Don't watch Powerpuff Girls, guys. Why do we know so much about Powerpuff Girls?
Especially the new Powerpuff Girls. I've never watched it, but I hear it's even worse than
Man,
the original.
it was already kind of weird and creepy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're watching something wholesome. Us talk
Mm.
about the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give a general advice here. Parents, watch whatever it is your kids are watching, because I can assure you it's creepy.
We've watched kids shows over the years and we're like, how?
Like going
How
back,
is this a kids
yeah,
show?
going back and watching the kid shows that we used to watch,
Mm,
we're just like, oh man, why were we allowed to watch that? And then watching what kids watch today is like even
terrifying.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that one kids show from our generation that I'm like,
Because
I always hated it, but people used to watch it and I was like, this show is messed up.
I mean, that's so
It was
many.
no, it's the
Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
no, that one was pretty bad too.
Coward, the
It was Courage the
Courage
Cowardly Dog.
the
That was
Cowardly
also
Dog.
it was that era though. It was
Ren and Stimpy.
yes, the worst.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy was the worst.
That's like
I couldn't
the worst
handle
show.
watching Ren
no,
and Stimpy.
there's something like
It's like guttural,
evil about it.
Yeah.
Like it's just yeah.
but it's just disturbing. Like shows that we watched though were just disturbing. Now it's like now they're like immoral on top of being
I
disturbing.
think there was an era where because like people grew up with cartoons from like like Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry and like all innocent stuff, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden cartoons got like weird and creepy and dark, and I don't think parents like thought like, hey, we should
Yeah,
be
they're
watching
like,
cartoons.
oh, it's
They're
a
like, oh, it's a
cartoon.
cartoon, we'll put it on.
Yeah,
I would hope parents today are like, no, there's like creepy stuff out there. There's like anime that looks like cartoons, but it's
Yeah.
not, and it's not made for kids.
Yeah. Just if you're a parent, I don't know why you're watching this, but if you're a parent, just know that don't assume your kids are watching something good, because I can assure you it's not.
It's been a while since we gave some good life advice
Yeah,
on this channel.
This is important though.
Yeah, it is for sure. And
Well-
you should watch our videos in advance
Mm-hmm.
to make sure your children are
Yeah.
prepared for them.
And so we
And
get
to make
2
sure-
views,
In fact, you should watch it.
the whole
Your
thing.
spouse should watch it.
Mhm.
And then you
separate.
you each watch it individually with
Yeah.
all your children. So like you watch it with all your children,
Mm-hmm.
and then your spouse watches it with all the children,
And then you both watch it with all your children.
and then you invite their uncle over, and he watches it with all the children,
Mhm,
and the
yeah.
aunt watches it with all the children,
Mm-hmm.
and then you all watch it together,
Right.
and then you all
Family
pair off
bonding.
in different pairs, like
Yeah.
groups of 3 maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and then you watch it with your dog.
Just every combination you can think of, really.
I mean, if one family did that
We'd
on
have,
one of our videos, we'd
we'd
have
have
more
so
views than
many
like
more
any
views.
other.
We'd have, yeah. Because I mean, what's our most views? Like 30.
I mean, if we continue this math problem through to completion, I think we have like 1 million views. So worth it. Worth it.
So do that, even though it's unreasonable.
And to sign off, may your pens. What was it? May your pens always be full of ink.
No, I think it was may your pens be well inked.
May your pens be well inked, and your hearts always be black.
I don't know why you added that last part.
Because it's black ink.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
As always, we're surprised you made it this far into our video.
There's no way we could possibly ask you to subscribe to this atrocity, so we won't.
We would say share it with your friends, but it's probably better for wasting your enemy's time.
We're probably not going to get any better, but we will keep drawing.
See you next time.